Hello and welcome to a Smurd P video, and today we are looking at X Factor, the original X-Men, Volume 1 Omnibus. Now, you may have sensed there is a tone in my voice, a tone of irritation, and some of you may or may not agree with my tone and my opinions that I'm about to say, and I don't usually actually have this sort of opinion when I do Marvel omnibuses. I'm usually generally quite satisfied with how they're rolled out, except for this bunch. Now, Peter David, in terms of X Factor, is a damn legend as far as I'm concerned. I loved his original run. I especially loved his second run. But what I don't love is the fact that X Factor, including what I'm about to show you now, which is the beginning of the X Factor mutant universe, is almost pretty much the same series all the way through, although similar to Uncanny X-Men, the teams change. So this X Factor pretty much, if I could be wrong, ran all the way up until oh goodness, let me just check, until issue 70. So issue 69 was this original run's final issue. Then it goes into this world, and then in between this and this, there is another writer that did an X Factor run, which we have not seen. And basically, this covers just Peter David's run. And don't get me wrong, from here, the numbering does change, but it returns and continues and finishes. And I know we've got a volume 4 of X Factor by Peter David, which includes his new X Factor, whatever you want to call it. But I wanted to say it really did irk me, because anybody who was going to buy X Factor knew the original X-Men started, so you don't need to say that. I just find it very irritating, and this should have been volume 1, then volume 2, and then this should have been volume 3, then it should have been a volume 4 in between, and then volume 5, 6, 7. I could be wrong. There may be 2 in between there. I'm not too sure on that one. Could be wrong. So that's my biggest gripe of this release, because that's how I would have liked it personally to go on my shelf, to look in that order, because you know, even though teams change, you look at Uncanny X-Men, between volume 1 and 5, there's a shift in many characters. So, anyway, now that I've done griping, let's try and enjoy this book. So, X Factor, the original X-Men, you've got them all on there. I bought this from Speedy Hen. I used to go to Forbidden Planet, but, well, I'll be honest, their prices have jumped up. And I've generally, for a lot of time, been quite happy with Marvel Omnibus prices. I generally don't have a thing with them, except I probably have to work harder, work and budget a little bit better. On the side, you've got this, and you got Cyclops down there, which I like. Very annoying. X Factor, the original X-Men, Volume 1. Isn't needed. So, if I've done my math correctly, which I may not have, it's got about 45, 46 issues. I did count 51 earlier, but I could have counted incorrectly. And this collects Avengers 263 and Fantastic Four 286 and 312. And those are the sort of first 2 issues of where Jean Grey is found. And then we jump into X Factor, and we've got issues 1 to 26. Annual 1 and 2. Iron Man Annual 8. I really should have worn my glasses when I was reading this, because it's really tiny. Amazing Spider-Man 282. 373 to 374. 377. 378. Power Pack 27 and 35. Mephisto versus 2. Incredible Hulk 336. 337. Classic X-Men 8 and 43, Secret Wars 2-5, and material from Marvel Fanfare 40. So yeah, that is quite a mouthful. And this does have quite a big chunk of this original run, including the leading up to Inferno, not Inferno, I'm so sorry, Mutant Massacre, and those Mutant Massacre issues, including 4, which is pretty pivotal to Angel's story in this. So I am glad that those are in there. And I will do, when I get the event prelude to Mutant Massacre, I will show this and Uncanny X-Men 5, and you can, decide what you want on that. I won't do it in this. So you have the creators there: Bob Layton, Louise Simonson, Sal Buscema, Jackson Butch Goosh, I apologize if I said that wrong, and Walter Simonson, and then third Genesis. So it just gives a synthesis, which is grand. And underneath the cover, they've gone through for the comic panels on this. I mean, quite annoyingly, I've got some damage, so I do have to reach out to Speedy Hen, which is unfortunate because actually the last couple of books I've got from him have actually been very, very good. So nice underneath the dust cover. So let's have a look inside. Okay, so I think this is the first omnibus that I've actually done since changing my my review area around, not by my it wasn't me that did it, but sometimes you got to keep people in your life happy. Apologies, I will try not to bounce this, and I will try to show you what is in the comic book. This is going to be very awkward. This is not my favorite hand at all. So inside you've got the order of the stories, which run from 1986 to 1990, and then obviously the Secret Wars 2 is 1985 at the end. 1,136 pages. I'm really sorry. This I can't see going well. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to flick through. So this is where they find Jean Grey. And then all of the original X-Men go to meet her. And, Cyclops leaves his wife. And then eventually he thinks his wife's been murdered. And lots of agonizing times between him and Jean Grey. I think Warren, he fancied her or something. I can't remember if he tried anything in this. I won't pretend to remember because it's been a long time since I've read this. Good 4 years. Bear in mind, I think I've only read it once. But I do, and this is why I like omnibuses. And oh my god, that was a disaster. I thought I found a way to do it and be quite happy. Hey, it's Freedom Force. Apologies. This is why I like omnibuses, and this is why I like them to sort of be released in order, because then I can just read an entire run. We've been blessed with, for example, the likes of New Mutants. We got 3 great omnibuses, and I really do hope Volume 4 happens soon, because I feel like it just needs to happen. Why not? Why are we holding out on these last omnibuses? There's no news on Excalibur Volume 4 either, which I think almost probably finishes that original run as well. So there we go. And this is obviously, you get Apocalypse's first appearance. Get his Horsemen. I'm so sorry that I am nudging this camera like so. So you could easily, yes, I remember this classic issue. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to keep saying that because, this is not how I like to do reviews. I'm going to have to find a better way to do this for future reviews, because this is not fun for you, and it's certainly not fun for me, so I apologize. And then we've got some extras at the back. Characters, which is cool. Some sketches. Which is very nice. I can't remember. Fall of Mutants must be in here as well. So, and then I guess Volume 2 will take you all the way up and past Inferno. So, which is great. Yeah, lots of extras in here from there. I like that. I like this. Back when I first read it, this is how I sort of read the Mutant Massacre. So that is something to be wary of that you do not see the full effects of Mutant Massacre, for example. You don't see what happens to the other mutants. So from that perspective, you know, your event books are obviously very, very important. And the same with the fall of the mutants. So, you know, X Factor is covered in 3 issues here. So, you know, this was pivotal moments in the 80s where they would, you know, they did some great stuff with the X universe, and they had little crossovers. And yeah, here's the synthesis on some of the X-Men, some of the stuff I've read before, but it's always nice to see this stuff again. Marvel Girl. And obviously you get the induction of the likes of Cameron Hodge, who's meant to be Warren's friend, and, you know, and no, I'm not going to spoil it for you, even though this story is well old. He does sink quite harshly to Angel. And, you know, I remember getting this trade paperback back in the day as one of my first ones. I think that was given to me as a leaving present, I remember, from some of my colleagues, which was, you know, very grateful for it. So yeah, it's, you know, it's a beautiful book. And, you know, obviously I had a ton at the beginning. I'm still very happy to have this. I just felt it could have been released a little bit better. That's just my opinion, you know. Let me know what you think. Are you happy with how X Factor has been released? I mean, I guess some people may look at it and say, I love the original X-Men run of X Factor, so I want that. But I don't like Peter David's run of X Factor, you know. And some people, you know, he's to me is that his second run with Maddox is my favorite X Factor run of all time. But for some people, it may not be. So, you know, everybody has their own thoughts and opinions on these things. So anyway, I hope you like my video. If you do, please support my channel by subscribing. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you to everybody that supports my channel already by subscribing. And as always, embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.